Hello, we're back with another build video. I know, it's all you're here for. But today we are using something a little unorthodox, but I thought it would be fun to mix things up. We are using Khepri's horn, which is known to only be used with the solar subclass, alongside Stasis. Yep, you heard me right, Stasis. So, first things first, Khepri's horn. What it does, basically sends a solar blast forward whenever you deploy your barricade. Fun. This helmet has muy bien ad clear, so with that in mind, this build is basically a lot of ad clear. We are mixing our Khepri's horn, I hope I'm saying that right, with our Stasis, Glacier Grenade, Whisper of Fissures, Whisper of Shards, Whisper of Endurance. Now, nothing else in our build really matters besides our primary pulse rifle that is solar in terms of the build meshing together, because our Khepri's horn, along with our abilities from Behemoth, are going to be our main sources of ad clear throughout the game, even in endgame content. Now, before I actually go more into detail about endgame content, let me just say this build is more so made in purpose of having fun. I wanted to try something different, okay? So in our Behemoth subclass, we are basically using Glacier Grenade to its fullest potential. We are using its AoE shatter effect from Whisper of Fissures to remove all enemies from our view, and we are going to be regenning our grenade back at a very fast and consistent rate as well. Our melee is there to just, be there, but it's helpful at times, and we can get our melee back extremely fast as well from destroying our Glacier Grenade. So all in all, we will get all of our abilities back very rapidly. In terms of fragments, once again, Whisper of Fissures increases the size of the burst from destroying a crystal and damage. Whisper of Shards, we get some grenade recharge rate from destroying crystals, and Whisper of Endurance, we get longer slows. This is kind of redundant and useless, but we have it just to add that strength, just to make that nice little stat look pretty and get it to 100. And yeah, that is pretty much it for this subclass. And before I go into weapons, let me explain real quick what our helmet and our subclass actually do together. So I was doing some messing around, and our helmet can be used to actually destroy our Glacier Grenade. Now, is that the most beneficial way to use the helmet's perk? No, but it looks cool, and sometimes it could be helpful if you need to get a quick destroy on the crystal if you don't want to slide or use your melee into the field and get yourself killed. So using that helmet range flame to destroy the crystals is an option if you so choose, but that is not the purpose of the helmet at all. The purpose of our helmet is to clear ads as well as our grenade. Our grenade is also to clear ads, so we have two sources of ad clear available to us at all times. Our barricade is going to be getting our grenade back, and our pulse rifle is going to be getting our barricade and our grenade back. Not to mention our barricade is already at a 14-second cooldown anyway, so we don't even really need the pulse rifle. With that out of the way, let's go to our weapons. The pulse rifle. Now, this is the only weapon that is actually important besides our heavy, but our heavy is just for boss TPS. But going back to our secondary, we want our secondary to have demolitionist as well as being solar element. It doesn't have to be a primary, it can be a secondary as long as it is solar and has demolitionist as well. If it is solar, it will get us our barricade back due to Khepri's horn armor perk. Solar damage kills recharge your barricade, and demolitionist will be getting us our grenade back. Our two main products of this build, our barricade and our grenade. So as long as it is solar and has demolitionist, you will have something to fuel your recharge rate and decrease it to the point where you don't even have to worry about cooldowns. And yeah, that's it in terms of weapons. Now going into stats, this is actually pretty personal preference. I chose to go with resilience as well as strength. Strength was kind of not intended, it's just what was rolled with my perks. So I have my melee back at a much more consistent rate than I would normally if it wasn't at 100, but it kind of works out considering how I don't really need discipline. And our resilience is at 100 to get us our barricade back at a very, very fast rate. Our barricade is one of our main sources for getting our grenade back, so having one of the two up all the time is very nice to have. The barricade is more nice in my opinion because it comes back much more faster, and pairing that up with bomber, it will in turn decrease our grenade cooldown. So for a grenade, I did some testing, and I will show on screen the difference between discipline tiers from 7 to 10. I am running 5, but I know a lot of people will want to run some higher discipline, so I will show tiers from 7 to 10. I will show the difference. So basically, what I want to show you with these comparisons is that having that higher discipline doesn't really matter. Having that higher discipline discipline will decrease your grenade cooldown to 2 to 3 seconds at most. Because from throwing our grenade, we are going to be using our barricade a lot, and we are going to be getting the Whisper of Shards proc almost immediately from destroying the crystals. So we're going to be getting that 10-second reduced grenade recharge rate, and we're going to get our bomber stacks. So those two paired together will nearly get our grenade back all the way instantly. All right, now with that out of the way, let's move on to mods. Now for mods, nothing really significant whatsoever for this build. Our main things are our helmet as well as our subclass. So this build is actually very friendly to new light players so long as you have the Khepri's horn. If you would so choose to run Charge of Light mods that I'm running are some damage output mods. So you can run a grenade launcher increase to damage or a sword increase to damage. I am using Lucent Blade, which increases our sword damage whenever we're Charge of Light, and I'm using Swift Charge as well, which gets us Charge of Light whenever we get rapid kills with a pulse rifle, sidearm, or submachine gun. And I'm also using Radiant Light to get us that extra strength as well. Besides that, we are using Bomber as well as Ashes to Assets. Bomber, which reduces grenade cooldown when we use our class ability. We have a barricade a lot, so we will be using Bomber quite often. And Ashes to Assets just gets us some super energy whenever we get grenade kills. And yeah, that is pretty much the build. This build was more so just made for the intention of having something new to use as well as something being fun and viable at the same time. But if you don't want to use it, that's perfectly fine. All right, with that being said, I will see you in the next video. Peace.